Hi, so in the previous video, we talked about for loops and how you can add values to an array. But this time, we're talking about arrays that already exist with values and how we can get out those values from the array. So we have been given some tasks and let's just use that to explain it. So the first one says log each element of the array R to the console using for loop, and it gives the array. So we want to copy that out, and having done that, we now know that we need to get out these values from this array. So we're going to set up the for loop, and the first thing we need to do is to get the initial value of the index, not the value of the element contained in the array. This time is the value of the index of that element. And now we are going to set the condition that index should not exceed, that means it should be less than the length of the array. So we can notice that the length of the array here is 5 because we have 5 elements, 1 2 3 4 5, and we know that the index starts from 0, so 0 1 2 3 4. So with this we can easily deduce, that means we can say that the last index of the array, that is this one, which in this case will be 4, is equals to the array length. This case is 5 because there are 5 elements minus 1, which gives 4. So this is in other words, let me just do this. That's 4 is equals to 5 minus 1. This is what it looks like. So what this means is that in our for loop, we're going to specify that I, which is the index, should end with the last index, that is array length minus 1. So we can take this as should be less than or equals to this. So this would be correct. Array length here is as array.length would find the length of the array, and in this case is 5. So with this we can now log out, because that's what it says we should log out on the console each value. So we're going to set the console.log, and what we're going to put in here is the array, and we're going to specify the index, so I. So it's going to loop through from 0, which is the first element, then it's going to increment. So we're going to add the increment here, I plus plus, to increment that, and it will continue till it gets to the fourth element, the fourth index, that's 0 1 2 3 4. And in this case we set the array length minus 1. So array length is 5 minus 1 is 4, and that's why it's less than or equals to that. So if we save this and run that, and now what we have here is 10 9 8 7 6. So what it did was it was able to get out all these values and look through it and specify them here. So a better way to put this is to just specify that the array length, it should be less than the array length instead of less than equals to the last element. So less than the array. So we know that the array length is always going to exceed the array itself in terms of the index. So that's why. So if we save this, we still get the same thing. So this is basically how to extract values from the array using a for loop. But let's try another one. So it says declare and initialize a variable total to 0. Use a for loop to add the value of each element of the my array to total. So let's take that the array itself, and now we're going to create the variable total, which we're going to use to, in this case, it said we should add the values. So total is going to be 0. So once we've done that, we can now set the for loop. And first of all, we'll specify let. Now there's a mistake we made in this first one. We're meant to specify let because we are declaring the initializing the I variable, and we're going to use it. So let I, which is the index, start from 0, and then I is going to be less than, and remember we're going to take the array length, so it will end just before it gets to the array length, and then I should be incremented. So this is going to go through every single element of values of the array, and now we need to add that to total. So we're going to say total plus equals. That means we want to add each element. So it's going to be plus or plus equals my array, and we'll specify the index. So index is going to be I. So it's going to start from 0 index, and it's going to go through and keep adding it to total. Then we'll now log out that, and we'll take total value, we'll log that out, and when we save that, now we have 20. So it means 2 plus 3, which is 5, 5 plus 4, which is 9, 9 plus 5, which is 14, and 14 plus 6 is 20. So that's simply how to extract values from an array using the for loop, and then we can do whatever we want to do once we've gotten the values from the loop.